What's up, y'all? It's Ty. We're going to be looking at the top 100 players in the NBA, giving my thoughts on it as well. It's updated from since June 20th. So again, pretty recent, last week. We're going to be looking at the top 100 players in the NBA. And first, the most important thing is, what are these graded on? Because like the last top 100 we did, it was how impactful basically they were the past season. This, we're going to be looking at the ranking of the players making the biggest impact on the league right now throughout the regular season and into the offseason. Our analysts will update this list. Okay, it's basically who I think are the top 100 players heading into next year. I don't know. It says for the 2023-2024 season, but I just think it's the best players in the NBA. Well, let's see. First, I want to see where Joel Embiid's ranked. Okay, Joel Embiid's ranked 6th. Giannis is ranked, 3rd. So injuries, I think, it's not how impactful they were in the season because obviously Embiid's injury hurt. But who basically would you have as your cornerstone players heading into next year, I think is the way to look at this. Jokic is number 1, obvious. I think he's the best player in the league. Luka at number 2, obvious. Second best player in the league. I mean, if you don't have them at 1 and 2 right now, I'm interested in why. I think you could make the case, probably for the number 3 here. I've already seen who it is when he's healthy. But, I mean, Jokic, it's crazy, is 29 years old. I just feel like Jokic probably will be the best player in the league unless Luka takes it over for a few more years. Unless Wemby obviously does anything crazy. Like, Jokic just has a game that I don't think it's going to get old. Giannis, I think people forget how good Giannis is. But kind of the opposite for Giannis compared to Jokic. I feel like athleticism was the main part of his game, and if he never develops a jump shot, he's probably going to trend downward starting about now. Like, that's just genuinely the situation for Giannis Antetokounmpo. SGA at 4. I mean, SGA's growth has been impressive. I think 4 is the right spot. It's interesting. I don't know, who would you guys rather have heading into next season, SGA or Giannis? I still think I'd probably give it to Giannis, but I think SGA definitely has that. Maybe I would give it to SGA. I mean, what SGA can give you offensively and even being really good defensively is so valuable. Jason Tatum at 5 is crazy. Jason Tatum at 5 is crazy. He is not, in my opinion, a top 5 player in the NBA. If you're asking me to rank the players I have heading into next season from top to bottom, I do not have Jason Tatum at number 5. I probably have him in that 6 to 10 range. I think number 5 is too high. Now, I know he won the NBA Finals. But it's like, he didn't even win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He didn't even win the Finals MVP. And we have him at number 5? I think that's ridiculous. I think that's crazy. And if Jaylen Brown's not top 15, I'm going to lose my mind on this list, okay? Joel Embiid at number 6. It's right. Joel Embiid has to stay healthy, though. He has to stay healthy, and that has to matter. Unless Joel Embiid can consistently stay healthy, 6 is the right spot. If he is healthy, I'd put him maybe as high as 3. Steph Curry. Thing for me with Steph is he's getting old. Heading into next season, would I have him as high as number 7? I don't know. He's 36 years old, man. I don't know. That's aging in a big time way. He's obviously still going to be able to shoot the ball, but the quickness, stuff like that, it's probably going to start trending downward. 7 might be the right spot. I might be a little lower, though. Anthony Edwards at 8. Look, heading into next season, I'm higher on Anthony Edwards than Steph Curry. My question right now is, where in the heck is Jalen Brunson at? Where's Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson to me is better than Jason Tatum. Jalen Brunson to me is better than Steph Curry. Jalen Brunson to me, heck, I'm a Timberwolves fan. I'd take Jalen Brunson at the same type of level. That's just me. Ant's going to continue to grow, continue to get better. I mean, I'd have him higher than Steph. I'd have him higher than Jason Tatum. Maybe that's just me. That's where I've had him. KD, it's interesting. KD is such a polarizing player. The thing for me is he's 35 years old. He's going to get less quick. Defensively, his impact's going to go down. 9 might be the right spot because of what he gives you offensively, but I just think he's going to continue to trend downward. I really do. AD at number 10. I really like Anthony Davis, man. I really like Anthony Davis. But it's crazy when I'm looking at the ages of all these players. 31 years old. Now, he does have injury concerns, but he played in 77 games, I do believe, this year. Was really good in those games. The Lakers got to do something. They got Connect last night. That was a great pick, but they've got to find a way to continuously improve. Jalen Brunson at 11 is ridiculous. Absolutely sickening that the Ringer Jalen Brunson at 11. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Jalen Brunson is a top 7 player in the NBA at the bare minimum. What are we doing having him at 11? Do we forget? He literally carried the New York Knicks. See what Jalen Brunson does next year. See what he does. If the Boston Celtics were not in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks might be my favorite to win the NBA championship. Yes, you heard what I said. They're going to be that good. Why? Jalen Brunson is a big part of it. At number 11 is so disrespectful. Bron at number 12, I mean, again, he's 39 years old. I don't hate the spot for LeBron James. Do I think he's better than KD? I don't know. I think they're basically equal. They're just aging. The fact that you're comparing Bron to Jalen Brunson at this stage is crazy. D-Book at 13. I just think the Suns' playoff performance was so sad that, I mean, it's worthy of a slip, but he didn't play well in the playoffs. I think D-Book's can have a really big bounce back year. I think the Suns probably will go deep in the playoffs if they do run it back. I just think they're too talented. They'll figure it out. Kawhi Leonard, I don't know how you have him at 14. And I know he was fairly healthy during this season, played in a lot of games. But when was the last time Kawhi Leonard was healthy when it mattered? When was the last time? At 32, his injuries are going to get worse. Kawhi Leonard, I'm going to say it, one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. If he could have found a way to stay healthy his whole career, we'd be looking at a different arc for Kawhi Leonard. We really would be. 14, just too low. Jaylen Brown, y'all see how they snuck him into the top 15? He's better than 15. Jaylen Brown's healthy. He's consistent. A great defender. 15's too low for Jaylen Brown. Donovan Mitchell, 16. Again, I'm taking Donovan Mitchell over Kawhi Leonard heading into next season, and I do not care. He's a score-first guard. Obviously, can go get a bucket. If he goes back to Cleveland, they're going to have to figure it out, man. Surround him with some more talent. Wemby at 17. Now look. Was Wemby the 17th best player last season? No. Okay, and that's not me hating on Victor Wembanyama. Is he going to be the 17th best player next season? I think that's valid. I think that's warranted. With what he's shown in his rookie year, I think it's valid. Like, I do think he's going to take a big step. He's 20 years old. He's a freak. 17's valid heading into next year. It's valid. Halliburton at 18. It's tough for me. It's tough. After his injury, really kind of struggled. In the middle of the season, I would have said maybe top 15, but obviously struggled. 18, I would say right now is too high, and maybe that's just me being recency bias, but again, in the playoffs, he was okay at times, but just wasn't super consistent. I don't know. 18 probably right for Hallie. Led them to the Eastern Conference Finals, so I can't hate. Jimmy Butler, man, he's aging. The Heat got a great, they got a good pick, man. They got another big man to add to that rotation. They got to improve, though. Within the margins, the Heat got to get better because the Eastern Conference is stacking up against the Miami Heat to even make the playoffs. Like, the Eastern Conference is getting better. Jamal Murray at 20. Wasn't healthy in the playoffs. But heading into next season, I don't mind him at 20. I think it's too high, though. I think it's too high. Obviously, Jokic makes things easy for Murray, but Murray makes things easy for Jokic. 20 is probably the right spot when he's healthy. And again, I can't forget what he did to the Lakers late in those games. He has the clutch gene for real. Zion, I'm going to start speeding it up a little bit. Zion at 21. Got to find a way to stay healthy when it matters the most. I think heading into next season, it's probably accurate, to be honest. But I struggle with the fact that, like, and again, you can see the kind of the rankings. He's been in that 30 to 20 range. Struggle with the fact that he's just not been healthy. Fox at 22, probably valid. It's crazy. The other ranking system had like Sabonis top 15. We haven't even seen Domantas Sabonis. Fox over Sabonis. I don't know if I agree with that. At 22, it's fine. Paul George at 23. I'll say it. I think PG's good. He's just aging. So whoever takes on Paul George, wherever he ends up next, going to be interesting because he is aging, getting old. He's got to find a fit. I think Philly would be a good fit for a guy like PG-13. Bam at 24, valid. You know what? DPOY, who deserves the award, I can't debate that. 6'9", very good defensively. Offensively, fine as well. I really do like Bam. I honestly think he's better than Jimmy Butler. I think he's the best player on that Miami Heat team. Kyrie Irving, he deserves to be trending upward. He absolutely does. Was fantastic. When he can figure out the off-the-court issues and stay healthy, was so good. Obviously, struggled a little bit in the playoffs, but really good. Here's Domantas Sabonis at 26. I'm not going to argue against it. You know what? He's very good, very valid of that. Been top 25 for very long. You know what? I think he deserves it with his playmaking ability. Damian Lillard at 27. Is it crazy for me to say that's too high heading into next season? Like, I'd have Jrue Holiday higher than Damian Lillard. Cook me in the comments. I don't care. I think Jrue Holiday impacts winning at this stage more than Damian Lillard. Part of that's injury concerns for me. Part of that is just filling that role. But Dame, again, can be that lead guy on a big-time team. So, Lauri Markkanen at 28. I think he deserves it. I think Lauri Markkanen is fantastic. I would like to see him on a contending team, but I think he's fantastic. Boncaro at 29. Heading into next season, I think it's too low. I think it's too low. I think Paolo Boncaro is a top 20 player heading into next season. All you got to do is look at the jump he made in his second year. I think he's fantastic. John Morant, again, when he's healthy, top 20 level of player, even compared to like Lauri Markkanen or Damian Lillard. There's no way with a straight face. If you tell me both players are healthy next year, you're taking Damian Lillard over John Morant. No chance. John Morant, if he's healthy next season, watch out. All NBA level player. Tyrese Maxey, I don't mind it at 31. Again, if the 76ers can find that third guy, another team in that Eastern Conference that's going to be tough. Cat at 32. Look, here's the deal. I think it's valid. I think that's the right spot. Cat got to stay healthy again. That's the big thing for him. But he can stretch the court. He's surrounded with the right guys. And I think he's good. I think the problem for Cat is, look, his best position is center. And Gobert's taking over the reins there. But do I think Cat or Gobert was better this season? It was Gobert. Just saying. Siakam at 33. Honestly, I think it's too low. What Siakam was doing for the Indiana Pacers was special. Post-trade led them deep in the playoffs, and I think he's kind of a guy that can elevate, rise in the playoffs as well. 33, I think, is too low. Gobert, 34. I think this is where he deserves, honestly, what he deserves. Right there with Cat in that 25 to 35 range, I think is valid. I would say Gobert's health has been impressive the last few seasons. His defensive versatility. He's been able to defend the perimeter, deserving at 34. B.I., I don't know. See what he's like outside of New Orleans. It's crazy he's only 26 years old. He feels older than that. Trae Young, again, we'll see what he's like in Atlanta. Trae Young at his peak, man, he's special. He's special. Top 20 player in the league if he can, stay healthy. Offensively, so good. It's just tough on defense. Derek White at being 37. I mean, look, I think Jrue Holiday is better than Derek White. That's my opinion on things. Both are good. Both are deserving of 37 and 38. I'm not going to argue against it. I think I'd have Jrue Holiday higher than Damian Lillard, though. And I know he's aging, but man, he is so good. Shot 42% from three. Ridiculous. James Harden at 39. It's crazy that I'm putting Jrue Holiday at the same age over James Harden, but I don't hate it. Like, James Harden in his peak, in his prime, unstoppable, unguardable, has lost his step. I'm a little concerned with James Harden moving forward. OKC, Jalen Williams. I mean, I said OKC. like they're both not Jalen Williams. J-Dub, really, really good. Just going to continue to get better. 40, I think, is too low, honestly, heading into next season. Scotty Barnes, again, 41, I think is too low. I love Scotty Barnes. I think heading into next season, he is an all-star level player. KP, I think 42 is too high. Now, let me tell you why. Injury concerns and a big-time play. I like KP, but I am worried about his body moving forward. 7'3", hasn't been able to, consistently stay healthy throughout his career. Chet at 43, I think is too low. Again, heading into next season, I'd be way higher on Chet. Again, if you're looking at this season and what he did, he was probably 43 range. Şengün is interesting. Look, I love Şengün. It was great, but when he was off the court, and I know the Rockets' schedule wasn't tough, the Rockets leveled up with Şengün off the court. Really weird kind of situation there in Houston. Julius Randle at 45. It's fine. I don't know where Randle fits in with the New York Knicks, man. Like, the Knicks got all these wings that can defend. Not really worried about getting theirs. Then there's Julius Randle. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks do. Jaren Jackson Jr. at 46. I think it's too low, too. Young, promising, defensive player of the year caliber type player. Again, I think with Jaren, you're going to see them both be like top 30 next year. Especially Jaren. I think he's going to make a big time rise. Desmond Bane, again, so quick to forget what Desmond Bane is like. He's a young guy that's going to continue to grow. With Ja Morant on the court, he's going to level up. Jared Allen, I don't know, man. The fact that Jared Allen's at the same spot as Jaren Jackson Jr., I personally don't like. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is way better than Jared Allen. But we'll see. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, that experience is got to go. DeMar DeRozan, 49. I think it's about the right spot. Thing about it is he's not a great shooter. He's great from the mid-range, but three-point shooter, not great. Got to be able to get his from that mid-range. Just a weird type of player. Mikal Bridges at 50. I like it. He's going to the New York Knicks, going to be a perfect player. And with what the Knicks gave up, you know that his value is definitely there. DeJounte Murray at 51, I think he should be a top 50 player. But hey, can't really fault it. Atlanta struggled. Not really all DeJounte Murray's fault. I think in the right situation, could be a winning player. Evan Mobley, again, got to get away from Jared Allen. That fit is not great, but I do like it. I do like him at 52. Do think, in his young career, he's going to only level up. Draymond at 53 is ridiculous. If you think he's a top 53 player in the NBA right now, you do not know ball. He's old. He's aging. He'd rather fight somebody than play basketball. Draymond, worry more about making the playoffs than your damn podcast. Darius Garland up next, 54. Another guy that's got to get out of Cleveland. You're talking about 4 guys that are top 54 players. I think Donovan Mitchell has top 20 upside. And it's just like, the fit just seems awkward. It seems awkward there in Cleveland. OG Anunoby got absolutely paid. OG, Mikhail, all these guys surrounded by Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are going to be special. OG does have injury concerns. It's my main thing with him, but 55 is right. Aaron Gordon, good. Perfect. I think it's a fit ranking more than anything else. Fit-wise, perfect in Denver. 56 is right. Chris Middleton, got to stay healthy, man. You got to stay healthy. You're 32 years old. If you stay healthy, if Dame stays healthy, if you have Giannis, you can build around those guys. The Bucks could be tough. Again, forgotten about team in the Eastern Conference. I think for me with Milwaukee is they could have kept Drew Holiday. They would have been just fine. Franz Wagner at 58. I think it's right. Has to shoot the ball better. Has to shoot the ball better than he did last year. That's the big thing for Franz Wagner. But he's only 22 years old. He's going to take a big step next year. LaMelo Ball could be the biggest riser. To me, could win most improved player next year if he can stay healthy, show a big time rise. But obviously this season didn't stay healthy. Just kind of yikes. Cade Cunningham, another player. These two, I'm kind of the same on. I think both these guys have crazy upside if they can stay healthy and figure it out. Cade, obviously, in Detroit, it's been just a dumpster fire. Adam Ron Holland, another non-shooter. Fred VanVleet at 61, way too high for me. I don't mind Fred VanVleet. I don't mind him at all, but I just don't know if I love the fit in Houston. Brook Lopez at 62 is ridiculous. He is not the 62nd best player in the world. He's 36 years old. I know he can shoot the ball, protect the rim a little bit, but he's so slow. I just don't like it. I don't like it at 62. Maybe I'm too low on Brook Lopez. I don't like it. Kobe White, most improved player. Definitely deserves the 63rd ranking. Be interesting to see his fit next to Josh Giddey. I don't mind it, though. Caruso at 64. In OKC, he's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. Jaden McDaniels at 65. Say what you want. Jaden McDaniels gets better in the playoffs, which I think is the best part about his game. He's probably going to continue to grow in that shooting the ball category. And outside of that, I mean, you can't ask much more of Jaden McDaniels. Michael Porter Jr., I mean, look, I don't know why I saw somebody say that the Nuggets should trade him. He's a perfect fit in Denver. He's got to be able to knock down shots because if he can't, his value goes out the window. Herb Jones, great this year. Shot the 3 ball well. All defensive level player. Herb Jones, perfect. New Orleans needs to keep him as much as, worried about anything else. CJ McCollum, he's way too high. He's just aging. I just don't know where he really fits, who he fits with next year. We'll see. I don't mind CJ at his peak, but just interesting. Jalen Green took a big time step. You look at this timeline, goes from not ranked to top 70. Jalen Green without Şengün really did rise. Bradley Beal, man, I do not know. I don't know. At times he showed flashes, man, in the end of the regular season, but in the playoffs was a no-show. Bradley Beal kind of underrated at this point, but he's just so overpaid. It's tough. Jeremy Grant, I really like Jeremy Grant. I just think his impact wasn't there last season. Maybe it's because he didn't really care. But if you look at other stats besides not scoring the ball, Jeremy Grant really didn't do too much. Jalen Johnson, huge for the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks decide to go young. They've got some promise, man. They've got some promise. And that's what I would do if I was Atlanta. Behind Jalen Johnson as much as anybody else. Jalen Johnson, great in Orlando. Great defensively. Or Jalen Suggs, I don't know who I said. But great in Orlando. Can shoot the ball a little bit. Jalen Suggs really, really solid. Vassell, I like Vassell in San Antonio. I mean, I really do. San Antonio went with Stephon Castle, adding some much-needed defense to that roster. San Antonio could, if Stephon Castle pans out, be a play-in type of team next year. They could. They got to make the right steps. And for me, there's no rush in San Antonio. Keep taking things pretty slow. Anthony Simons, man, I don't know. I don't know. To me, Portland's got to build around their young guard core, but Anthony Timons, it's his 6th season. He's a bucket getter, but I'd like to see his defense start to improve a little bit. Austin Reeves, man, it's crazy. Austin Reeves had a crazy run with Team USA, and I thought this year you'd take a big stride, a big step, and he just never really did. He was okay this season, but never took that big time step. Miles Turner gets a lot of hate. I like Miles Turner. Can protect the rim a little bit, can space the court. I don't know why people hate on him. Yes, injury concerns, but he was healthy in the playoffs. Zach LaVine, I don't love Zach LaVine. I mean, 78 is kind of crazy for a human highlight film, as you guys can see, The Ringer says. But he's got to be able to defend better. Naj Reid at 79. Look, I love Naj Reid, and heading into next season, that's probably accurate. But I think he might be a little overrated at this stage. Is that crazy to say? 79 is probably accurate. Naj has stayed healthy for the most of his career, has been a big-time impactful player. I'll say it, if Cat or Rudy wasn't there, he'd easily be top 70. Just tough because, I mean, the minutes aren't always there. Hero, perfect buy low spot for Tyler Hero. Perfect buy low spot. If I was a team trying to, build young, I'd target Tyler Hero. I really would. I think he has huge upside potential. Can score at all levels. I like Tyler Hero at 80. Kuminga, look, if I'm the Warriors, I have to keep Kuminga. He can compete on a contending team now. He's 21 years old. He is going to be really, really, really good. KCP, I'll say it, I think is underrated. His ability to shoot the ball, knock down shots, and defend. Just a winning player. Dylan Brooks, look, I know a lot of people might not like Dylan Brooks. He's a winning player, though. He's a contending team would want on their squad. Gonna give you great defense, knock down some shots. He's gonna be solid. Kuz got to improve the defense. That's the main thing for Kyle Kuzma. If he can improve his defense, watch out. Trey Murphy, I love him, man. Loved him out of the draft. Perfect 3-and-D guy. Can shoot crazy deep from 3, man. Trey Murphy, I love him. Marcus Smart, injured all of last season, so it's tough. But I'm not gonna lie. He's a perfect fit in Memphis alongside Ja Morant. He really is. I think the Memphis Grizzlies could surprise a lot of people. Norm Powell, I think it's a perfect spot here at 87. My question right now is, where's Malik Monk? Where's Malik Monk? I think Malik Monk's deserving more of, this 87 spot more than Norm Powell. But he shot the ball ridiculously well from 3. Again, getting a little older, but as long as he can shoot the ball that well, no issues with it. Josh Hart at 88. Just his ability to level up in the playoffs. Do it all. Knock down timely shots. 88. Good. I might even have him higher. He's a winning player. It's sad. The Knicks are going to maybe lose Hartenstein. They are going to lose Hartenstein probably. I think Hartenstein is so good. Whoever lands Isaiah Hartenstein is getting a great player with big time upside because he's never really had a huge role. Brogdon, if he can stay healthy, is a starting level point guard in this league. He is. He's a starting level point guard. I was going to say, where's Mike Conley at? These two, I think, are basically the same. Conley's been able to stay healthier, but both these guys are just winning players when they're able to stay healthy. Mike Conley, no question, impact's winning. Love him. IQ could take a big time step. Raptors, look, they got IQ. They got Scotty Barnes. Those two got to be the core pieces of their franchise moving forward. I like both of them quite a bit. Dante DiVincenzo at 93. It'll be interesting. Is he going to come off the bench next year? I don't know, but shot the ball so well from 3. Really love his game. Claxton, another buy low spot. Brooklyn's got to do whatever it takes to retain him because I think his upside is definitely there. Brandon Miller, super young. Obviously, had a promising year this season. Just a bucket getter, really is what it is for Brandon Miller. Has some highs, has some lows, but he's really, really young. Colin Sexton, interesting, right? Utah Jazz took Isaiah Collier. It's interesting with all the guards they got there in Utah, but Sexton, I think, is probably the best of them. And it's crazy coming into his own at the age of 25. Derek Lively kind of leveled up in the playoffs. Still have a little bit of a concerns for him. Like, obviously, Luka makes a lot of plays for him. He does impact winning, though, with his ability to block shots. I like him here at 97. Jabari Smith Jr., I'll say it. I think he's underrated. I think Jabari Smith Jr. has the potential. He's only 21 years old. He's going to take a big step, I think, next season. Most improved player candidate, I think so. RJ Barrett, I don't love RJ Barrett. I just think next year's a big prove-it year for RJ Barrett. If he has a mediocre year next year, I'm over RJ Barrett. And Al Horford, fitting, right? The 100th spot for Al Horford. No real bad things to say about Al. I feel like he's just been really solid. Look, he's been that 100th spot forever. And honestly, won his NBA championship, and it deserves that 100th spot. For me, like, the big question mark is, did I miss Malik Monk, or where is he at? That's my big question mark. Keegan Murray didn't even make the list. Hello? Keegan Murray? Like, no way. No way we're saying Brandon Miller is better than Keegan Murray, right? Like, what are we doing here? Those are two guys like off the top of my head that I'm like, where are they at? Like that's the big question marks for me. But overall, solid list. Like when I'm talking about guys that are too high, I mean, is it crazy to say Dame's too high? I mean, I think Dame's good, but I'd put him in the 30s. Another guy I think's too low is Domantas Sabonis. I think he impacts winning really, really high or at a really, really high level. And again, I think Jaylen Brown should be higher. I think Jason Tatum should be lower. That's me. Let me know your thoughts on the Ringers list. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.